What's up, y'all? It's your girl Waseem, and welcome to the very first episode of Wassup Waseem. Yes, I'm so excited. So, if it's your first time watching, I'm going to go ahead and get into what Wassup Waseem is all about, just so you guys can know. So, Wassup Waseem is a podcast focused on growth, but not growth in like the way that you normally think about it, like within yourself, even though we will get into yourself, but really growth within your friendships, growth within relationships, and just growth all around. I really want this podcast to focus on cultivating the conversations that lead to growth within our generation, because us as young people, we need to grow or we're going to end up just like y'all parents that y'all hate. So let's just get right into it. We're going to start off every podcast with some questions, opinions, and topics written by you guys. Yes, you guys. When I did my What's Up Wednesdays, I went around and asked you guys some of these questions, but specifically we're going to go on my Instagram. I posted what are some things that you guys are struggling with in college? Because I know like college is very hard. So we're going to go ahead and go through some of these and just talk about them real quick. So the first thing and the main thing that I kept seeing you guys say is finding genuine friends is really hard in college. And I definitely can attest to this. My freshman year, I spent my whole freshman year running behind a piece of meat. Yes, a piece of meat. Yes, a piece of meat, guys. And I really didn't cultivate those friendships that I was supposed to. So like now I'm in my junior year and it's kind of hard. And especially at FAMU, like if you're not a part of like orgs or you're not super active on campus, it can be really hard to really find your clique because everything's super cliquey here. The main piece of advice that I can give to you guys about finding genuine friends is just really staying prayed up and not like settling for like BS friends. You know what I mean? Because when you jump yourself into these BS friendships, you could like block your blessings of finding real friends. You know what I mean? So I just say like be patient. And also realize that a lot of these people who have all these friends, those people are not really their friends. You know, they're waiting for their downfall. They're not going to support them when they're in times of need, you know? So definitely just stay patient and you'll find your friends. Something else that somebody wrote, they said they struggled with staying focused in school while dealing with out of school problems. I definitely can attest to that as well. I've been through a lot growing up as a child and just growing up in my household. When I first came to FAMU, like when you first get out of your environment and come here, it's so hard to separate the two because that's all you know. But what a lot of y'all don't realize is that you guys are so stuck in the past that you guys can't move forward. You know what I mean? College is the best time for you to reinvent yourself and get you to where you want to be. So don't be afraid to leave those things back home. I know it's easier said than done, but who you were is not who you're supposed to be. So you should take this time in college to continue to grow and try not to focus on those family things and separate the two. I definitely know that it can be hard, but also that's where your faith comes in as well. So I say just keep going, y'all. That's always what I'm going to say. Another thing people say is mental health. Y'all, especially in the Black community, mental health is not taken serious, like at all. And one thing I can say is that if your mental health isn't good, everything else is going to fall in line and not be good. So you have to put your mental health first. And that means putting yourself first. Like I know sometimes when you have a big heart, it's easy to want other people, things for other people, but you just want to focus on yourself and get yourself to where you want to be, because at the end of the day, everybody's going to be around you when you're doing good, but when you're doing bad, nobody's going to pick you back up. Only you can pick yourself up. So definitely focus on yourself and your own mental health. I don't care what nobody say. If you need therapy, get therapy. I have a therapist. His name is Dr. Adams. Shout out to Dr. Adams. If y'all need to get right with Dr. Adams, hit me up. I will send you his info. So something else somebody said was niggas be getting to college and trying to reinvent themselves. I feel like there's such a negative connotation behind trying to reinvent yourself. Like if you want to reinvent yourself, do it. Like I don't understand why everybody has such a negativity. Oh, they went to college and try to change. That's what you're supposed to do. Y'all the bums who still this person that you was in high school. Y'all the bums who peaked in high school and don't want to continue to grow. If you want to come to college and reinvent yourself and go by a whole new name, then that's what you should do. Like, I just don't understand. If you want to come here and become Beyonce, then come here and become Beyonce. Okay, reinvent yourself. This one says, finding people I relate to. I don't smoke or drink or like to party. Baby, what are you doing? I'm just playing. But no, personally smoke, but I'm trying to stop smoking. I know it can be hard, especially like in a certain environment. But like I said, y'all gotta be patient. Like the right people will come in your life at the right times. If you go seeking for stuff, it's never gonna come like how you want it. You know what I mean? You're gonna be just blocking your blessings. All right, next, I see time management twice and procrastination. One thing I realized about life, because recently I went through something kind of traumatic and I just kind of became stuck in like what I was going through. One thing you have to realize is that life is going to keep going. I don't care what you're going through. If your daddy could die, your mama could die, but as long as you still on this earth, life is going to keep going. And when you waste time, you're only making it harder for yourself. I know it's easier said than done, but you're only making it hard for yourself because now when it becomes 11 o'clock, you're going to have to rush and do all that work. And that work is not going to be good work. It might be passable work, but it's not going to be good work. And do you want to be average or do you want to be the best? That's really what you got to ask yourself. So it's easier to just get it out the way before rushing. You know what I mean? So something else I see is social anxiety. My advice for people who have social anxiety is to simply stop caring about other people. Like, it's very easy for me to go out and talk to new people because I simply do not care about other people's perceptions of me. And I don't care about what they're going to say about me because I know me. I feel like social anxiety comes from y'all not knowing yourselves and not having confidence within yourselves. Once you find true confidence within yourself, you'll be able to go out and talk to anybody. So definitely. I'm not going to say who wrote this, but you know yourself if you wrote this. They said finding a good eater. That's y'all problem now. Y'all always worried about who gonna eat something. Eat them grades up. Like, y'all always talking about finding a good eater. I'm sure there's plenty of eaters out here. You need to find you your wife, okay? You're gonna be walking around here, penis burning, because you done found a girl who ate it up, but her mouth yucky. Worry about the right things, okay? All right, accepting my setbacks. Ooh, this is good. Y'all cannot beat yourselves up about no setbacks because at the end of the day, even if you took a step back, you're still miles ahead of like other people. I know like with me, I've been wanting to start this podcast for so long. Like for over a year now, I've been saying I was going to start this podcast and I've been beating myself up. And even with me starting this podcast, like y'all see, it's not a whole bunch of lights in here. It's not like really cute. It's just regular. But even though it's a setback for me, people look at this and they look up to it and they're like, oh my God, you're really doing it. Oh my gosh, you're really doing it. So don't be afraid to just go for it and like accept the wins with the losses. You know what I mean? Because if life was going to be just easy and you winning, everybody be winning. There'll be no homeless people. So just give yourself grace. You know what I mean? Because nobody's perfect. Somebody else said getting caught up in the party life. Who are you telling? After this podcast, I'm finna go shake my ass outside of Cancun's. Okay? I don't know what to tell you. I mean, I'm just finna have a ball. Listen, party life, it's all about balance, but that's life in general. But I feel like you just gotta find a good balance. Like if you know your assignment due at 11:59 and you haven't done it, why are you going to Cancun's at 11 o'clock? You just accepting that you're gonna fail? Because guess what? You're gonna be shaking your ass, getting drunk, and our professor gonna give you a big fat ass 0. And you're going to be sitting there looking stupid. So make sure you find a balance, but also be outside. We're young. Like, we're never going to be 20, 21 ever again in our lives. We're going to be 30 years old looking back like, dang, I missed college. Because I know I'm 20 years old right now, and I'd pay $1 million just to go back to middle school when I had no worries. We finna be 30, 40, 50 years old having to pay bills and, like, take care of children. Like, that's just too much. Like, y'all, enjoy life. Like, come on. All right, we're going to answer, like, 2 more because I don't want to get too wrapped up in this. But somebody said being complacent when you got everything you want, it's easy to be stuck there. Who? This is, yeah. First of all, y'all, don't ever get stuck because while you sitting here not doing nothing and you like complacent where you at, there's somebody else working 10 times harder to get to where you got to be. And not only get to where you got to be, but get further than you. And you're going to be stuck. So never get complacent where you at. Everything about life is about growth. You should be growing every day, whether it's you're growing educationally, spiritually, growing within whatever your business is. Like, you should be striving to grow every single day. Because when you become complacent, that's when stuff hit the fan, y'all. All right, last one. Money management. Y'all, raise your hand if you ever been broke. Okay. We all been broke, okay? College is no joke. But the main thing I can say is keep your faith. If you keep working hard at what you're trying to do, let's say you're trying to become a nurse, right? Y'all sad right now because you broke and you got all these tests and you got all these things. Well, guess what? In about 2 to 3 business years, you're going to be traveling out the country shaking your ass on a yacht because you can afford it. Okay, stay down for the come up. It's okay to be broke. We don't have to have everything together right now at 20, 21 years old. Because guess what? At 30, we're going to be making them B's. Maybe them M's. Maybe even them B's. So just just be okay being broke, y'all. Like, it's okay. But yeah, so that's going to be the end of that segment. And I don't want to waste all of our time. So before we wrap the Wassup Waseem podcast up, I do want to tell you guys a little bit about me and the things that I struggle with so that you guys can have a better understanding of me and why my thoughts are the way they are. Because I'm definitely going to be having strong opinions and things to say. And I feel like if you guys understand where I come from, it'll be easier for you to understand what I'm saying. I've been through a lot of things, and I feel like when we see people on social media, we have a tendency to idolize them. Like, we'll see them and we'll be like, oh my God, they're doing so good. And you compare yourself. So I don't ever want you guys to idolize me. So hopefully me being vulnerable will help you guys. So just a little bit about me. My name is Aja Waseem. I grew up in Orlando, Florida. I was raised in a pretty normal household, like middle class. I never really had to struggle for anything, never really had to work for anything. But my parents are going to be mad at this when they see this, but I did have problems within my household. I'm not going to say my household is toxic, but I had problems within my household. And then coming to college, with this being like my first time away from my parents, first time away from my house, I think the hardest thing for me to accept was that other people didn't grow up the way that I grew up. Like, when we would be sitting around telling stories about our childhood, I would tell a story about something and people would look at me like, girl, like, that's not funny. And it would break my heart. Like, I would literally be sitting here like, dang, like, so y'all childhood wasn't like that? And that was the hardest thing for me to accept. So being young and dumb, being 18 years old and just wanting to live life, I poured all my heart into like these boys. Like, I remember my freshman year, I was thotting and bopping. I'm sorry, we just got to be real. I had that freshman hot syndrome, okay? And like, this is the first time I'm away from home and these dudes is coming at me left and right. Come on, like, I'm sitting here getting all the attention that I've always wanted since I was a little girl, but I'm getting it in the wrong places. And I feel like as women, when we get attention from men, it validates us, especially if you're already insecure. So I was doing things I was supposed to be doing. I was partying, and I actually ended up failing my first semester. I ended up, just take a guess. Everybody comment right down what my GPA was my first fall semester. We'll wait. A 0.0. A 0.0. Let that sit with y'all. A 0.0 GPA. Do you know how bad I had to do to get a 0.0 GPA? But I did. So I had to retake all my classes, and I ended up getting a 4.0 that semester. And then I just was working hard. But I was still battling depression because me and my family would be getting into it every time I go home. And then also I was in a relationship with somebody who I shouldn't have been in a relationship with. And like I mentioned before, I wasn't able to really make friends because I was so busy running behind this man. Like, I would literally be at his house all day, be with him all day, every day. And I didn't like focus on me, number one, and the goals that I wanted to achieve, nor did I focus on surrounding myself with good people. So it showed up in my life. It showed up in just how I felt like as Asia, you know what I mean? So that's something that I definitely regret and something that I definitely want to talk about like on later episodes, but something I just want to bring up now so that you guys can understand to don't give somebody else your all. Don't be so busy pouring into other people's cups, because by the time you done pouring into everybody else's cup, your pot gonna be empty. You know what I mean? So definitely that was something I struggle with. I definitely struggle with depression and anxiety. Freshman year and sophomore year, I was depressed and nobody even knew it. I would be sitting here literally going home to cry, going to my car to cry, and going in everybody's face and laugh and try to make them laugh. So that's another thing. Don't look at other people on the outside and think that they have everything together, because I feel like it's easy for people to look at me and think, oh, she got everything together. She's just so happy. And that's not the case, like, at all. So that was definitely hard for me going from my freshman year into my sophomore year. And I was still in that toxic relationship. Like, and then, like, you know how toxic relationships be, they be on and off. And it really did affect my mental health and like how I viewed myself. I feel like when you put your all into somebody, you how they treat you is like in your head a reflection of how you view yourself. So for me, it was he treated me like crap. So it's like, dang, like, am I not pretty enough? What am I not doing wrong? Like, why doesn't he love me? Et cetera, et cetera. So that's something I'm dealing with, on top of dealing with things going on back home, and on top of trying to get my grades together. And I'm just sitting here smoking, drinking my problems away, and it did not help. Like, yeah, my GPA was still good. I was able to raise my GPA. Like, right now, my GPA is like a 3.0. But, like, mentally and everything, I was still unhappy. So, I just started getting cute, started feeling myself, and I started doing my workout videos, and I started working out. And I definitely will be dropping workout videos, y'all, so stay in tune. But yeah, I started working out and I started feeling good. I also started growing my faith. I started reading my Bible, which was really helpful as well. And yeah, things started going good. And then I went home for the summer. I had all these plans. Like I said, I was been supposed to start this podcast. I went home for the summer. And it was just hard for me. Like, my face literally broke out in hives so bad. I had a terrible reaction. And I burnt my face as well. And I was going through that home. And it's like, dang, like nothing can go right. Not only was I going through that home, again, I was going through it in the relationship. Like, I constantly put my worth in that man. And look where it got me. Nowhere. I'm not with that man today. He probably back messing with his ex-girlfriend. Matter of fact, I know he is. But the point is, I'm not with him. So I did all that. I poured into him. I tried to help him with all this schoolwork, try to help him do all this growth. And I was still stuck where I was, and he grew. So I say all that to say, do not do that, y'all, especially for the ladies. Like, this podcast is going to be for the men and the women. But right now, I'm really talking to my ladies. Do not give yourself, all of yourself at this young age, to a man, because at the end of the day, you're not going to have nothing left to show for it. Only he is. So fast forward, going into this year, everything was pretty cool, but I ended up being in a traumatic situation that really affected me. And I would say that was probably the hardest thing that I went through. I was depressed for like 2-3 weeks. It was really bad to the point where I actually had to drop all my classes. So I'm actually not even enrolled right now. I'm not going to be enrolled to next semester. And it was really hard for me. But one thing I will say is that I kept grounded in my faith. I would thank God even when I felt like I didn't have anything to thank God about. And that's what helped continue to keep me grateful. And at the end of the day, at the end of everything, God blessed me. I really hope that one day in future episodes, I'll be able to tell you guys my full story so that you guys can get a real deep understanding. But we're not going to do this just for first episode. I'm sorry. I just don't know what to tell you guys. So that's just a quick overview of me. And yeah, so that's pretty much it, y'all. This episode is not going to be long because, I mean, I just can't keep chatting all day. Like, I don't know what to tell you. I don't have nobody to chat with. So I just want to go ahead and introduce myself. Again, it's your girl Waseem. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope I gave you guys something to think about. And if you want to keep knowing what's up with Waseem, click that subscribe button down below and ring that bell for notifications. If you're listening and not watching, follow us on Apple Podcasts. And of course, follow us on Instagram at Wassup Waseem. Follow us on TikTok at Wassup Waseem. Follow my main pages as well. We'll definitely be posting little snippets here and there. And thank you guys so much for watching. Adios.